If you ever feel awkward or even anxious when you're in a social situation, or when thinking about going into a social situation, or when thinking about how you acted or maybe what you said or should have said in that social situation, that all kinds of anxiety or awkward feelings start coming up for you, then you're going to want to watch today's video, because I'm going to be talking about what social anxiety really is and what we can do to cut this one off at the knees so that we can start feeling more comfortable and confident in being ourselves, no matter where we go or who we're talking with. Stay tuned. I think you're going to like this one, because I talk to a lot of people that talk about feeling socially awkward or socially anxious and have taught them these tools and have helped switch their mindset with this one. And they've said that it's been really helpful for them. So I hope that it is really helpful for you too. If you're new here, welcome to our incredible little corner on the internet. Take a second, introduce yourself in the comment section below. And if you are back again, make sure you say hello in the comment section below. And also, new or old, hit the subscribe button so that you get notified when my new videos come out. It's about right down there. Either way, my name is Kristina, and I'm a registered clinical therapist, a researcher, a coach, and the creator of my membership community, the Shift Society, that you can get more information about in the description below as well. I help heart center go-getter men and women break through the crap that is holding them back so that they can like themselves and their lives more every day. And social awkwardness or social anxiety, however you want to look at it, is one of those things that can really hold us back. And I know firsthand with this one, because I used to really struggle with feeling awkward in social situations. And even more so, what I would struggle with is replaying the event afterwards. So after I'd leave the social event, I would sit down and I would think about what I said or didn't say, what someone else may or may not have been thinking, how I could have done something better or been cooler or said something a different way or handled a situation in a better way. And I used to go around and judge myself and criticize myself and replay and stress and obsess about what had happened or didn't happen and beat myself up about it. And if you have ever done that, you know how much it sucks. And thinking about all these things that we put ourselves through, and even anticipating events. For those of you who get really anxious about the idea of going into a particular social situation and get yourself really worked up about that, or even while you're in it, maybe even feel paralyzed with anxiety while you're there, and how much of this mental and emotional drama that we create for ourselves that really isn't necessary. So I'm hoping by the end of this talk today, you're going to feel different. You're going to think different about social anxiety, and it's going to help you feel more comfortable and confident in yourself when you are anticipating in or reflecting on social situations. So first of all, we need to understand that part of social anxiety is wired into our brain. So part of our primitive brain is about getting social acceptance so that we don't get kicked out of the clan. Because if we get kicked out of the clan, back a long time ago, like long time ago, the early humans, if we got kicked out of the clan, we would be sent out into the wilderness and either probably eaten by a saber-toothed tiger or taken off in a thunderstorm. And so we needed that social acceptance for our survival. And so now in modern day, with our kind of modern life, that part of our brain still thinks that we need to get social acceptance at any cost so we don't die. Like, our brains can be that dramatic. So understanding that that is part of that wiring in our brain, and that part hasn't caught up to modern life, where there are 8 billion people, I think about 8 billion people in the world, that we do not need to be accepted and liked and approved of by all of them in order to survive. Someone not liking us, someone even overtly rejecting us and hating us, is not going to result in our utter death and destruction. So being able to just know that that's what's going on in your brain now, why it really can feel like a matter of life and death. Like, it can feel that intense fear for some of you that can come up around social situations. Also knowing as well that a lot of us were raised to believe that good girls or good boys act like this. Good girls or good boys are liked of and approved by everyone. Maybe we were told that overtly, or maybe we witnessed our parents compromising themselves, rejecting themselves, neglecting themselves, abandoning themselves, and pretending to be someone else to get other people to like and approve of them. Or maybe you witnessed them being really anxious about social situations, and so you observed and absorbed those messages. So understanding that this isn't just about you just being anxious for no reason. It's not because there's something wrong with you. It's in a lot of cases because we learned something wrong from the people that we were learning from. So just to kind of know and understand what's going on at the bit of the deeper level there, the next thing that we need to understand about social anxiety is it's not about what other people are thinking about us. It's about what we think they might be thinking about us. And also, heaven forbid it, if they are actually thinking that thing about us that we fear, that we dread, it's what we're going to make it mean about us if they do. So it's really not about what other people are thinking or not thinking. It's about what we think about what they are thinking. It's about what we think they could be thinking and what we think it's going to mean about us if they are. And taking this even a level deeper to understand that the only things that we fear other people will judge us about are the things that we judge ourselves about. I'm going to say that again. The only thing that we fear other people will judge or criticize or reject us about are the things that we've already judged or criticized or rejected ourselves about. Because when you think about it, there are only certain things that you worry other people could think about you. And it's only the things that are most relevant to you because they're the things that you are already thinking. I don't worry about someone thinking that my hair is too blonde. I mean, it's not naturally blonde, it's kind of naturally blonde, but I lighten it up. I don't worry about that. I don't worry about someone being like, oh my gosh, that girl's hair is like kind of like too blonde. Because I'm not insecure about that. If someone said that to me, it would not bother me. I don't even think that someone would think that about me. And so it doesn't make me feel anything, the thought of them thinking that about me, and it wouldn't even occur to me to think that someone could think that about me. And so thinking about that in what are the things that you think that you worry or stress or get anxious about other people thinking about you, and is this something that you have thought about you, something that you struggle with, one of your insecurities? We don't worry about other people thinking about the things that we don't feel insecure about, the things that we're fine with, the things that we feel good about. First of all, we don't worry about them thinking that. And second of all, it really doesn't even occur to us that they would. So what does this mean? This means, like I've said before, that our well-being, our happiness, our sense of peace and contentment and confidence within ourselves is an inside job. It doesn't have to do with anything outside of us or around us. It's cleaning up our own houses and getting our own house in order instead of trying to control everything on the outside so that we can feel good enough. And that's so much of what social anxiety is we are trying to show up in a certain way. We're putting all this pressure on ourselves to act in a certain way, to say certain things, to be this interesting, dynamic, funny, insightful, engaging person. And we put all this pressure on ourselves, which then often, because of all the pressure, we end up kind of being sort of awkward because we're crumbling under all that pressure. But we are putting all of this pressure on ourselves. We are going into these social situations. We are thinking we need to be this person that is interesting so that other people can like us. But it's really so that we can like us. So if we can work on cutting out the middleman, instead of saying, you need to like me so that I can like me, we just really work on me liking me. And then other people having to have everyone else like and approve of us, is not as necessary. It becomes kind of irrelevant. Yes, absolutely, we need relationships and we need connection. But for most of us, we do have people in our lives who know us well, who know us for who we really are, and they do like and approve of us. And so not insisting that everyone else do the same, and then how we have to change ourselves, how we have to pretend to be someone else, how we abandon ourselves in that process. So really cleaning up our own opinion of ourselves, and then other people's opinions don't matter quite as much. The other thing about social anxiety, and I've talked to so many people about this, and it is so true, that often in a room, actually research even shows that 80% of people in a group social situation are feeling uncomfortable. They are wondering and worrying about what other people maybe might or could be thinking about them. So if 80% of people, 8 out of 10 people in any given space, any given room, are spending all of their brain power worrying and wondering about what other people are thinking about them, then who really has all this time to be doing all of this judging? If we're all so worried about being judged, then how many of us are actually judging someone else, and how many of those people in the room are actually judging us? So really taking a step back and understanding that more often than not, people are preoccupied with making sure other people aren't judging them, that they are not spending all this time judging us. And the other thing that we need to remember is that when it comes to our fear of judgment, to know that there are some people who do not like brownies. It doesn't matter how fudgy, rich, delicious, gooey, melty that brownie is. There are going to be some people that do not like it. And it has nothing to do with the brownie. The brownie is just there existing as it does. And some people are going to love it, and some people are going to think it's disgusting. But it has nothing to do with the brownie. And I even think about some of my videos here that I do on YouTube, that a lot of you really like them, really connect with them, really think that the stuff that I'm sharing is meaningful and important to you. And there are some of you who hate the videos. The videos just are what they are. It's just me speaking. And some people are going to have one thought about it, that they really like it. And some people are going to have another thought about it, that they really hate it. It's the same video. It's the same me. It's the same message. But everyone is going to have their different perspective, their different opinion, their different preference on what they like or don't like, but it has nothing to do with the brownie. The brownie just exists. It always has existed the way that it is. And people are going to have different ideas about how much or whether or not they like that brownie. I think, personally, one of the things that makes it easiest for us to stop feeling awkward in social situations, stop getting anxious about social situations, is to let ourselves off the hook from being cool. To just not expect ourselves to be these interesting, magnetic, insightful, incredible human beings that everyone just flocks to, and just let ourselves be ourselves. Let ourselves be awkward if that's what we're going to be. Let ourselves just be who we are and not try and think that we have to be cool. And I know that that sounds maybe a little bit juvenile for grown-ups to, think that we need to be cool, but I think a lot of us do. I know that I did for a long time, thought that I needed to be cool. And I remember actually the day when I had this realization and the light bulb went on, and I was like, I am not cool. I have never been cool, and I will never be cool. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. As long as I'm okay with that, that's okay. And it all of a sudden took all of this pressure off. And I no longer thought that I needed to be someone else in order to like myself. Because that's really what it comes down to, us being willing to like ourselves for who we are. And on the same vein, one of my favorite quotes comes from the movie Almost Famous that says, "The only true currency in this bankrupt world is what we share with someone else when we're being uncool." Letting ourselves be who we are. Cleaning up our own thoughts about ourselves so that we don't need other people to think about us in a certain way, to perceive us in a certain way, in order for us to be okay. Yes, absolutely, being liked is lovely, but being also okay if someone doesn't want to. If getting caught up in anxiety, if going around in your head and stressing and worrying about and getting anxious about what could happen, what did happen, what is happening, something that you want to get more in charge of, your mind spinning like that, then grab my 10-minute guided mindfulness exercise. It is free. It's in the description below. It's going to really help with this. And also, if you want to be doing this deeper work around cleaning up your house, around being more comfortable and confident in who you are and dealing with this anxiety stuff head on, then come and join the Shift Society. The information for that is in the description below as well. Like the video, share it out. Let me know what one of your biggest takeaways was from this. What's going on in your mind right now? I'd love to hear that in the description, in the comment section below as well. And until next time, take good care.